a really easy way and a really good way to customize your Koha OPAC. So the OPAC is the public interface that your users interact with, is to use HTML customizations. These are essentially different parts of usually the Koha OPAC homepage, so the landing page of your Koha catalog. This diagram shows in green different areas with the names of the HTML customization. So for example, on the left-hand side, we have OPAC nav. So that means if you want to add content or wording or images or whatever about your library onto your Koha OPAC homepage, and you want it to display in this area on the left-hand side, you would add an HTML customization to the OPAC nav area. So these names basically pertain to different parts of the OPAC homepage to which you can add content. How do you use these? How do you actually add content to those different areas? Well, the first thing to note is that no technical experience of coding is required to add content to those different regions. You can add and edit completely without knowing code. But how do you actually do it? Well, the feature HTML customizations is edited and managed on the Koha staff client, and it's under the tools module, and you'll see it under additional tools on the right-hand side. So we've got highlighted in yellow here, HTML customizations. What's important to know is even if a library staff member has access to log into the Koha staff client, they do need to have an additional permission enabled to see this HTML customization link. That permission is the edit additional contents permission. Without that enabled, they will not see this link. So that's important to bear in mind. But once you click on the link, you'll see a page of all the different HTML customizations that are in your Koha instance, and you can choose to add more HTML customizations or edit existing ones. So here is what you get. So what this page here is adding a new HTML customization. And what we've got is there's different parts of this form, and I'll talk you through them. So display location, that is a drop down, and this pertains to what region of the page do you want to edit, or do you want to add content to? So display location in my screenshot here is set to OPAC header. If we go back a few slides, OPAC header is this topmost green box. So it's going to appear at the top of the page. If you add content to it, it will appear at the very top of the page below the Koha logo. Library, so this is what library do you want this content displayed for? So at the moment I've got it set to all libraries, but if you want different content to display on different, on the OPAC, when users from different libraries are logged in, you can choose a library from that drop down. Publication date is really important. If you want something to display now, you need to set today's date and publication date. Otherwise, it won't display. You can also set an expiration date for it to be automatically hidden. And if you've got multiple different areas of content for the same region, so let's say I have two headers that I want one displayed above the other, you can actually say what order to display them in and appear in position. So I could say the first header I want is position 1, and then the second header I want is position 2. So Koha knows how to stack them on the page. And then we've got the actual editor itself where we add the content. We can see here under content, we've got what's called a WYSIWYG editor. So WYSIWYG stands for what you see is what you get. So this is an editor that will be familiar to quite a few people because it enables you to add content, like you might have seen something similar to this when editing a text document or a Word document or something like that. So you've got your normal file, edit, view, insert, tools, table, and so on. And it enables you to add things to the page, add things to your OPAC header without having to write code. So you can add things like tables, images, links, formatting without needing to know any code. However, if you do want to add code, you can also do that. And the way you can do that is using, or if you have a bit of code you'd like to add, there's something, this lesser than, greater than button on the third row of the editor on the right-hand side. That is a source code editor. So if you have HTML, you can click on that. It will load a pop-up where you can paste your HTML in and save it. But if you don't want to use HTML by default with this WYSIWYG editor, you don't need to.